Good morning. Hi. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Y'all, you're going to have to forgive me if I'm a little tired. Honestly, I was out, it was Girl Scouts last night, and we were out a little bit later than usual. So I'm just like down, not like, I'm not down like sad, but just like I'm down a little bit. Like normally I don't have my tea with me. I'm normally finished by now. Good morning. Hi, Jennifer. So good to see you this morning. So glad y'all are here. So if you see me taking a couple of sips of my tea, then that's why. But anyway, I'm so happy to be back on. I've been having a good week. If you'll notice, my whole like change one small thing. I have been trying to improve by changing one small thing every day. That's something I picked up from a podcast I was listening to. So if you'll notice, new logo, my logo is now here. So that's my one small change from yesterday. And if you are following me on other platforms, then you'll notice that I'm also cutting clips and putting them on those platforms as well. So I'm trying, y'all, trying to get better, trying to do one small thing, one small change every day. Oh, this is so true. Yes. It is the middle of the week, and yeah, hump day, slump day, right? So that's me. So glad I'm not the only one. Couple things. If you don't already know, I do have a website. It's cartontable.com. It's going to be over here under my name. You can definitely go check that out. I actually wanted to show it today, if you don't mind. I'm going to pop it up here for us to be able to see it so that you know what it is when you go visit it. This is my website. I have been updating it recently, so definitely go check it out. Let me know what you think. I'm under the What's New tab. I did put in some of the spelling ideas that we were talking about and link to some of the ideas that we had. And I will continue to do that as we are going live so that you're able to see that. And under the resources tab, that's where I still have that ever growing spreadsheet of resources that you can check out on your own. If you miss a website that I mentioned, it's probably over there. And then if there's something that like a product or something I'm showing, it's probably over here under the Amazon tab, or if you want to buy things from my Etsy shop, that's over here as well. So just wanted to give a quick little navigation for you guys. You can check it out at your leisure when you have time, when you want to. Good morning. Good to see you here, Jacqueline. Nice to see you. Oh, no. Jennifer, you said y'all are getting over a respiratory infection. Well, glad you guys are on the mend, it seems like. But yeah, 2 weeks of not feeling good. I totally understand that. So, but I'm glad you're here today. I'm glad that more people are finding out that I'm over here. Again, I debated whether or not to keep it going on TikTok and YouTube. And I really just want to give all of my attention to YouTube right now and all of my focus here and keep improving over here. So I hope that people will come and participate and join in the lives. I love talking to you guys first thing in the morning. It really does put some pep in my step, and I hope it does for you too. And if you can't catch the lives, then you know that they're going to be recorded over here later for you to watch at your leisure and listen to when you have the time. So definitely appreciate y'all being here this morning though. So with that being said, I wanted to talk today about encouraging independent learning. I know for a lot of us that is it's harder when our kids are younger, but not impossible. And so I wanted to talk about it, share some resources that I have found really helpful, and really just talk about why it's necessary. As much as I know all of us, we tend to be very hands-on with our kids. There are those times where we need them to go learn something independently so we can accomplish a task or work a shift. Some of us work from home. We need our kids to go learn while we're working, but we still want to make sure that they're not just, goofing off, doing nothing, and then we end up having to circle back. Like, you want to have some self-correcting resources or some independent learning resources where once you've done your task, you can go back and verify and check that they have done what it is that they needed to do. But at the same time, they can keep learning without you. So if they do make a mistake, it like self-corrects at the same time. So please do share if you've got some ideas. I'm going to start off by sharing some of my ideas. And if I'm looking down at my phone, it's because I made a list to keep me on track with the ones that I wanted to bring up and recommend. But also the ones that I'm suggesting are either, like I said, on my website or on my Amazon storefront. So if you do miss something, if I go a little bit too quickly, it is there. And the link should be down in the description of this video. So you can always click on that to get you to where I'm going to be talking about today. Agree. Yes, self-learning because I need to work from home. So just a quick backstory. I worked from home for about 2.5 years doing customer service for primarily Nike. So if you see me wearing Nike stuff, trust me when I say I got that at a steep discount while I was working for them. So during those times, I would have different shifts that I would pick up. They were either half-hour shifts or sometimes, longer. But I still needed my kids to be learning while I was on a shift. And sometimes I would have my kids like right there in the room with me, and I would just signal to them like, okay, I'm on a call. So like, that's when they need to be quiet, but I still wanted them to be working, with their headphones on or whatever but I needed it to be self-correcting so that if they had a question or if they got it wrong, the app or the device or not everything that I'm showing is app-based, but whatever they were working on would be self-correcting so that they knew they needed to adjust and fix that. So I'm going to share some of the ones that I used and some of the ones that I'm still using. And Ty, you were saying independent learning is so important to me. I think it also builds confidence. I think it builds confidence in kids also. I agree with that. It is 100% a confidence boost to them to be able to say they did it without you. And how many times when our kids are little are they telling us, I can do it. But also it's a sanity saver for us, because let's say it's not even just about you needing to work from home, which is 100% facts. Like sometimes we just got to do it. But sometimes you just need to sit and just have your morning thoughts, but you still want them to be working. So 100%, I get it. And that's why I really wanted today to be about that. So let me get started by first bringing up the first couple that I want to talk about. And again, you can get to these by clicking on the link in the description of this video. It should be my link tree, which will pull up and look something like this. I'm on a desktop, so it looks a little bit different, but something along these lines, okay? And then one of the main places you can see some of the things that I'm talking about is going to be under my Amazon storefront, okay? Which I had already scrolled down. There's quite a few things on here, but clicking on the Homeschool tab all these buttons. Clicking on the Homeschool tab under my storefront should bring you to this list. And I'm constantly adding to it. So definitely you can check on it. One of the first things I wanted to mention for the littles are these types of, oh my goodness. Okay, guys, forgive me. The buttons that we have to push. Okay, here we go. These types of self-correcting puzzles. Okay, so these are really great for the littles because it teaches math with pictures as well as numbers. And it really encourages them to work on their own without you. This is addition and subtraction. And the thing that I really like about these, if you can see here, each puzzle is cut to only match up with the correct answer. And so they cannot put a 3 where the answer should be 2. They are all cut slightly different. And so you could walk away for a couple minutes, put a load of laundry in the car, not in the car, in the washer, and come back and see their progress, because you will see how many pairs that they have made. So I really like these. I don't own them anymore because we have outgrown them, but I still wanted to show them. They also have these types of puzzles for opposites, as well as, let me see. I think they still had it. Yes, let me pull this one up for beginning spelling as well. Okay, hang on. Are you seeing this with me? Okay. So, and I believe they also have them in 4-letter words as well. All right, so let me catch this one here. Okay, so Jennifer, you were recommending you said it's been hard for me to back off and just let him go. Easy peasy makes the independent learning easier. I'm also seeing that sometimes he does better when I walk away. That's an interesting point to bring up as well. A lot of times our hovering it impedes the learning. So I definitely agree with you there. And that's another reason why I like to encourage from an early age the independent learning, because it really is good for all of us all around, the kids as well as us. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about now, this one, that puzzle was obviously nothing screen based, but I did want to bring up the Duolingo apps, like the entire family of apps. So we have, Duo ABC, Duolingo for languages, and then Duo Math. If you haven't tried Duo Math, I highly recommend it because it is definitely one of those apps, and these are free apps, by the way, guys. It's one of those apps where you don't have to hover. You can walk away and you can encourage your child to do it on their own. Unfortunately, I do not have any of their tablets near me to be able to show it, but we all, I think, are at least familiar with Duolingo from the language perspective. Like, we've seen the language apps, but if you haven't, I'll pop it up here on the screen as well, just so you can recognize the logo and what you're going to eventually be seeing. One moment. What happened? Now I see why people have, like, the big podcasters, why they have people like doing this for them, because I'm like trying to carry on a conversation as well as share and manage the behind the scenes stuff. So anyway, okay, so this is the Duolingo family of apps. And then this is the one that's about language, but again, they also have Duo ABC, which is for early readers. And then Duo Math is the same thing, but for math. So definitely check out both. Ty, you were saying Duo ABC is great, but you hadn't heard of Duo Math. Yes, definitely check it out. Small note about Duolingo, Duo Math, I should say. I got an email saying that they're going to be moving it from its own app back to under the Duolingo umbrella on November 30th. So I guess just be aware of that they're about to move it under one umbrella at the end of the month. But yes, 100% check it out. Yesterday and today, which is kind of one of those days where I was like, I got things to do, so I can't like hover over my son today. And so I said, do some Duo Math, Duo ABC, a little bit of language, a little bit of typing, and then that's a school day to me. So you can definitely, do something similar, or at least, like I said, add it to your resources so it's available to you whenever you want to use it. Okay, so let me pull up another one. Okay, so I can already tell y'all are going to have to bear with me when I'm pulling up different resources because I'm having to manage multiple screens. So I hope you'll forgive that I'm looking away and maybe the conversation lags a little bit while I'm searching to get to the next thing. Okay, so, and I also need to close some tabs so that we're not all over the place. And y'all let me know how it's sounding and looking too. Like I do need that feedback just to make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about that is not screen-based is Power Pen. So I bought this for my son last year, I believe. And the Power Pen is, you do have to buy the pen separately, but then you can buy all these different types of card decks to work on whatever skills that you want to work on. And what I really like about Power Pen is that it is, again, a self-correcting resource that doesn't revolve around a screen. So perfect for the car, perfect for just days where you want to lighter, you want to go lighter on the screen time. And really, really encourages my son to continue, because when he gets something wrong, it gives and this light turns red. Or when he gets something correct, it announces and celebrates that he got it correct, but it does it in different ways. So he's not hearing the same praise every single time he gets something correct. It does have a pretty good range of celebratory sounds and even like incorrect sounds. So it's a really good one. I recommend it. And this is something that can grow with your child. So you can see down here, we've got multiplication. We've got, up through grade 3, you got pre-K math over here. They also have workbooks. And then there is also, it's not showing here on this recommendation, but they do also have where you can just purchase the dots separately, the power pen dots, and create your own. So if you're more in the creative realm, you can definitely use your imagination, and kind of the sky is the limit on what you can create when you just choose to purchase the dots themselves. So if you haven't seen Power Pen, definitely give it a look, check it out, and let me know what you think if you end up using it. All right, so let's jump back while I pull up the next one. And so far, if there are any questions, please keep them coming in the comments. Like, you don't have to just stick to this topic if you don't want to, but just, if not, I'll just keep rolling. Okay, so next one, I feel like I'm kind of hopping back and forth between on-screen and off-screen resources, but I think that's fine. Okay, real quick, let me grab this question from Ty. You said, what age do the Power Pen cards go up to? I think it's all of elementary school. I have not seen middle school resources. You said ignore that tomato. No problem. I don't think I've seen anything under Power Pen for middle school, but I have seen elementary school resources. So definitely I would say pre-K through 5 is what I would say for Power Pen that I've seen. Now, if you've seen something different, please let me know. That's totally fine. All right. And then Heather, you're asking, what do you use for beginning to learn typing? So I have been using education.com's typing, but also typing.com is another resource, as well as Typetastic. And those were some that we shared yesterday. So if you wanted to see like a walkthrough and a demonstration, I did demonstrate those in yesterday's live, if you just wanted to check those out. But those are ones that we were recommended, that we were talking about yesterday. And 2 of those I use still currently to this day. Typetastic is one that I know Ty was saying that she uses, and that's for like more of the younger age range. And I believe all but education.com are free. So typing.com is free, Typetastic is free, education.com is not. All right. So, and I think I'm caught up. Yes. Okay. So let me jump over and share the next independent learning resource that I use a lot. And so this is an all ages type of thing, but I really like it for myself and the older kids, to be fair. So like we're talking like maybe 3rd grade and up is what I would say for this one. So that is Wordscapes. Wordscapes is one of those sneak attack apps where they don't feel like they're learning. And it teaches spelling. It showcases it in a way that doesn't make it feel super intense. And it's a challenge, but it's a challenge at their own pace. I think there is a portion on the app where you can set a timer just to make it a little challenging. I just turn that timer off and enjoy doing it at my own pace. And it really challenges you they give you a scramble of words. So if you haven't seen it, let me see if I can make this a little bigger. I guess I could just pull up. Oh, here we go. There we go. Let me share it over here. So this is Wordscapes again, and you're seeing the video demonstration here. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I was trying to make sure that there wasn't any noise. So the object is they give you a scramble of words if you haven't seen it, and you are supposed to try to figure out all the words that you can make with that scramble of letters. So I personally find that relaxing to just do it on my own when I just don't want to doom scroll, but also my kids enjoy it too, because it's one of those things where it is a challenge. You can level up in these with Wordscapes in this app. So highly recommend if you've got a device, just again, something to break it up where you're not constantly doing the same things. You're not always just doing workbooks or the traditional schoolwork. All right, no problem, Heather. I appreciate that. And then Ty, you were saying you also play Wordscapes. Yeah, it's a fun game. If you are a type of person that just likes to do puzzles, then absolutely, it is. I recommend it for all ages, but for sure for third and up, I think they would have a good time with that. All right, so that was Wordscapes. Any questions so far? While I, try to make sure I bring up the next one. Oh yeah, Ty, Wordle, absolutely. Wordle is a good one too. I don't play that as often, but I agree with you that Wordle is a fun game to play as well. All right, so my next one, and this is not so much a company or like a product or an app as much as it is just an idea, especially for like the elementary age range. And I'm actually going to go to Teachers Pay Teachers to share this one. So bear with me while I pull that up. All right, so this one is color by number. All right, and obviously you don't have to get it just from Teachers Pay Teachers, but I'm just using Teachers Pay Teachers as an example because they have literally over 100,000 results for us to choose from, and you can really narrow it down by what grade level you're looking for. You can also put in if you're looking for math, for example, but they also have like sight word color by numbers on here too, which I find that to be really, really cool and a different way. And it's self-correcting because the color has to match in order for the image to turn out the way it's intended to. Like this one looks really cool. This package of emoji math multiplication color by number. So in order for the picture to be correct, your child has to get the answer or get the equation correct and then be able to color that in. So I really like it for that reason. And then this is something that for most kids, you can set them down. Most kids who like to color, of course, but they gotta like coloring, that's implied. You give them this task. They have different themes as you're seeing here. I'm just scrolling through. Oh, fractions. Oh, wow, I hadn't seen this one. Okay, so that's a cool one. Here's what I was talking about, like sight words. So they have them in different subjects. Definitely a good idea. And you see these bundles are not super expensive. They're not breaking the bank, but it's still a cool idea that's self-correcting. You don't have to hover over your kid while they're working on these. So these are great ideas for just, those days where you just want to sit and cuddle up under a blanket and do a little coloring, a little mental self-care check-in or just like a mental health day, but you still want to do something. Definitely look into color by number. And of course you can see if any of them are our favorite price. Some of these out of the 150,000 gotta be, there you go, right there. Ooh, Christmas color by number. There we go. That could be a good one to download later today. Multiplication is something that I'm working on with my son. So this could be a good one. Oh, there we go. Thanksgiving, color by number. Oh, wait, is it? No. This is color by code. So this is a sight words one. That's not a math one. But either way, still a good idea. Okay. Sorry, I was looking away and we had a little technical thing with my camera. Okay. Ty, you were saying we buy a lot of activity books and your kids skip the color by number, but you love to color. Yeah, it has to be, like I said, the implied here is you have to have a kid who likes to color. If coloring is not your kid's jam, then maybe color by number isn't going to be the best fit. but I think it's still a good idea, something to have in the arsenal, something to even do together. Like, not all of these have to be something where you're going to walk away and leave your kid to do it on their own, but just something that gives you ideas of how to incorporate practice in different ways for those, for those skills that we want to make sure our kids are working on. All right, so the next one is, I don't have like a straight up visual for it because there's, again, so many, and we're jumping back to screens for this one. But this one is actually for books or screens. So it can actually go either way. You do not have to, you don't have to download an app. You can actually purchase workbooks with this as well. And that is logic puzzles. Hi, good morning. Good to see you. Oh, thank you so much for that compliment. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad you're here. And please feel free to share anything that you have been loving this year. I know you said you just started homeschooling this year, but if anything stands out that you're really enjoying, please feel free to share. All right. And hey, one of your favorite teachers pay. Oh, okay, she has excellent resources on her Teachers Pay Teachers account. Sorry, I was like, what is that? That's the name of her shop. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for being here as well. Appreciate that. And y'all, I'm so sorry. I don't know why my camera keeps cutting out. I'm going to try to catch it. It's a one-man band over here. Okay, so let me just, like I said, I don't have like one particular visual for this next recommendation, but it is logic puzzles. So you can print them. There's lots of free ones. There's apps to download if you wanted to do it digitally. If you have kids that have their own tablets, you could definitely download logic puzzle apps and give them that experience to be able to work on a puzzle while you are doing something else. And this is more, I would say, middle grades and up, but it could, if you've got a fourth or fifth grader that's just like really loves to solve, riddles and puzzles and looks at the clues to figure it out, then by all means, like, your child best. So just because I say something might be middle grades and up, you might say, no, my third grader likes to do logic puzzles. So totally get it, guys. It's just, your kid best. So you'll know whether or not these resources are a good fit. But you can get these in workbook form. You can get them in, like I said, app form. And then there's also just online websites where you can just, have your kid log on to the laptop or desktop, whatever you have, and have them do logic puzzles while you're working on something else or doing something else. So I really love logic puzzles for that reason. And in that same vein, same thing, like I don't have one particular company, app, or visual, but word searches, fabulous. Whether you're printing them yourself, making them yourself, or downloading an app for word puzzle, or for word searches. Also another good self-correcting activity that you could walk away, come back and see what what progress they've made by literally how many have they highlighted or circled or not circled. You can make them yourself if you want to introduce certain vocabulary, or you can have them do it on an app and, just still get that practice with spelling and problem solving through, doing it digitally. All right. And then another one is, now this is more of an app, but there's so many of them. And it's Spot the Difference. So if you guys are not familiar, this is the app that I use. Let me pull this up on my screen so you can see it. Okay, so it's called Differences. This is the exact one that I use and download with my son. He loves this game. And what I love about this game is it really does teach him to pay attention to the details, to kind of increase that focus, being able to spot what's different in different levels of different rooms or different boards that you get on this game. And it's endless. It's like it's endless and free. Like there are apps in between the puzzles that you solve, but you are not going to run out of things to do here, like at all. So this is a really good one, but of course there are others. So you can definitely explore in your, app store, whatever you have, Android or Apple. But I really like this game a lot. It's really fun. It's age appropriate. I have played this game for over a year. I haven't come across anything where it's like, well, that's not appropriate for a kid. So I think it's great. And like I said, it's another one of those where you can like, hey, sit down, watch this while I go tend to the dishes, while I go do whatever my task is, and I'll check in with you in 15 minutes. Or you like literally even set a timer, like how many boards can you complete in the next 20 minutes or something like that to make it fun. So I really, really, really like the Differences app for independent learning. Okay, and Ty, you were saying that your kids watch Mind Your Logic on YouTube. Oh yes, that's so true, guys. Like I kind of omitted things like shows, documentaries, YouTube channels, podcasts, but of course those are also like independent learning style resources. The only reason I didn't include them in this app, or not app, in this episode, is because number one, there's so many, and number two, I was wanting to include things where you could like check their progress. And when they're watching something or listening something, a little bit harder to check that they were paying attention or that they learned something, unless you go to like Teachers Pay Teachers and find, like, for example, Crash Course, which is another YouTube channel. On Teachers Pay Teachers, they do have Crash Course questionnaires that go along with the episode that they watched. So if you're doing something like that, then of course you can check their learning, but it just kind of depends on the resource. But absolutely, those are independent learning resources, 100%. Hi, Ashley, good to see you. Thank you for being here. And actually, y'all, my mom just texted me and reminded me to add the link if anyone wants to join me today. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it in the chat. So if you do want to pop up and chat, let me switch over to my disclaimer banner so that we're all clear on, joining. This is a recorded live and it will be posted onto my YouTube channel. So just know when you're joining, it is recorded. So mind your manners. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so you guys should be seeing that in the chat. If you do want to pop in, you absolutely can. You'll be asked to turn on your mic and your camera, but if you're uncomfortable or don't want to do the camera, there is an avatar there. So, or there's an avatar option, I should say, excuse me. So yeah, thank you, Mom, for that reminder. She is awesome. And then yes, Jacqueline is asking, am I Monday through Thursday only? And yes, that is enough. I got to have some downtime. And also, I want to make sure that I'm not just talking to talk. I want to have something to say when I do these lives. So yes, it is going to be just Monday through Thursday in terms of being live. But of course, if you miss any of them, you can catch them. And I want to give y'all time to catch up too. Like if you're not here every day, you need the weekend to catch up. So, but that's the reason. And I just, Fridays are for me. Okay. So another resource that I wanted to share, and this is now we're getting into older grades, but this workbook that I'm about to show actually is for 3rd through 5th and 6th through 8th. But I have been loving this workbook because, and I don't think it's down here now. I'd love to show it in person, but I think my middle schooler has it. So that's right, decorum. Okay, so let me show you guys. So this is also on my storefront. So it's there. These are you're not seeing this page. Boom. Here we go. These are the vocabulary books that I'm talking about, the McGraw-Hill Education workbooks. And I have the middle school one. Now they're already up to 3rd edition as well. So actually, let me pull that up so that we're looking at the correct one. So this is the one that I have. Okay, there it is. Y'all are seeing it now. I really like this workbook. They unfortunately do not offer you a flip through. Oh, thank you. She heard me and brought it back. Okay, so they don't have a flip through on Amazon. And I am going to try my best to show you guys what I'm talking about in this and why I say it's self-correcting. So this vocabulary book is really cool because I'm going to show a page that she hasn't done. at the top of each page, they give a kind of like a historical or scientific fact, small paragraph that talks about a particular fact. And then using the words, because each week she gets 10 new words, using the words, she has to then match them up with the meaning. And then down here, if y'all can see that, let me make myself bigger because I'm too tiny. Hold on one second. I'm too tiny. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so up here, she gets a fun fact. Then she has her words where she's got to match up the letters correctly with the word. She has to match them up with the definitions. And then down here, she's got like a puzzle to solve, kind of like Wheel of Fortune style. But if she does not match up the words correctly, then the words that are spelled out at the bottom do not make any sense. And so that in and of itself makes it self-correcting, because obviously if she's trying to read the answer or read the response that goes along with the fact that she just read, then she'll know I messed up somewhere. I need to go back and correct this. So this is really, really cool. Again, it comes in 3rd grade through 5th grade, as well as 6th through 8th grade. And the way that we have been using this particular workbook is there's 45 lessons in here. And I kind of stretch it out to where we do about 15 lessons per year, so that she makes it all the way through middle school with this. And each lesson, each lesson has 3 parts. And so what she ends up doing, and I'll show the beginning of this so you can see. So each lesson has 3 parts. Are y'all seeing? Hopefully that's coming through okay. And so she'll do one on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, basically. And this is in addition to like her teaching textbooks as well. So she's getting that vocabulary practice in addition to her teaching textbooks. And she's also taking sign language. I don't think I've said on these lives like what we're using. I maybe should say that. Like, what are we using this year? So you guys know what we are using. But those are really, really cool workbooks for those grades. All right, let me grab this question from Jacqueline. You're saying, is there anything for kindergarten to 1st or 2nd recommendations that you've used? Are we talking specifically in terms of vocabulary? Because I did, we talked a lot about spelling yesterday, if that's what you were talking about. And then I did show earlier in the live those self-correcting puzzles for like the younger grades, and then the color by numbers sight word versions as well is what I would use for the younger grades. But okay, you're talking vocabulary. Yeah, so that's where I was saying, like, definitely making your own word searches is a great way to do it, because it kind of sneaks it in. Depending on where they're at, wordscapes could be okay for very young kids. I probably didn't use wordscapes when they were that young. But again, you know where your kids are at. So, and then, word tiles is another one that I've used a lot for parts of speech. So like if you're introducing parts of speech along with vocabulary, the word tiles, which I can show those as well, have been a fun way to make little silly sentences. Oh, Mad Libs as well are really good for the younger age group. Okay, so here are the word tiles. One moment, y'all. If you ever try to do this, you're like going live. Y'all, you're just catching me learning as I go. Okay, so these are the word tiles. This is what I was talking about. These are color-coded based on the parts of speech. And I've enjoyed using them. I know I've heard some people say it's hit or miss for their family, as is everything in the homeschool community, by the way. So it really just depends on your kid and how you apply it, how you use it. But it's a cool resource that has grown with my kids. We still use them as prompts for Pictionary. One of the ways I've used these word tiles is having my mom be on FaceTime and we'll pick something, like pick one of the tiles out, and they have to draw it. And I have my older kids use the verbs, because it's a little bit harder to draw a verb than say a noun. And of course, we ignore the ones that say things like the, how do you illustrate the? But, those are just some ways that you can use these types of things. So, yeah, any of those would be a great way to introduce vocabulary. And then, of course, just searching vocabulary on Teachers Pay Teachers, that's always going to be a good resource where I'm like, hey, if you ever need some ideas from those that are doing it like all the time, you might find yourself really inspired by what you see when you just search vocabulary and filter out for the age range that you're looking for. So for sure. All right, I missed something. Ty, you were saying it's more for college and late high school. What would be a good resource? I missed this. What were we talking about here? I feel like some of the comments aren't coming through on my side because even my mother said yesterday that I didn't see something she said. So not sure if I missed part of that comment or not. But I'm going to, I didn't understand that one. So I'm sorry about that. Okay. And then the pièce de résistance, y'all. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. You were saying McGraw-Hill has an app called Sharpen. I need to look into that. That's okay. Actually, let's look it up together while we're here. And then I'll share one of the last ones that I wanted to share for the older kids. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to look up. Okay. So it's a study app. Is that right? Is this the right one? Okay. So, and you know who else came out with a new thing? Khan Academy. And I said I was going to look into that too. It's a tutoring app. Okay. So this one is McGraw-Hill Sharpen. And it says here, what are we doing? Okay. So it's like quick videos to help study for different tasks. But you're right. Yeah. More older kids for sure. So this will be definitely a good self-correcting app for if you have older children. Like I'm always trying to encourage my older to think of me as the third line of defense. So first is see if we have a book about it, see if you can find an online, reputable resource about it, and then come ask me about it. But I really want to encourage them to solve it on their own. And so I really definitely want to pay more attention to this because it says here you can search by concept right here in the middle. And I really like that. And it looks like they also will track the progress, which my kids love streaks. Like, I don't know if your kids are like that, which, I forgot to mention in the Duolingo apps, they have streaks. So definitely, yeah, definitely good to know there that they'll track the progress here, which is really cool. So I think we're going to be downloading this one later and exploring this one a bit. And then I saw something real quick just fly by that said they do quizzes. Okay. Yeah. This looks really cool. Thank you for throwing this one out there and sharing this. Thank you so much for sharing this one. For those of us who have older kids, because I know sometimes, with the homeschool resources, when we're looking for help, it tends to skew for younger, which is fine. But some of us do have older kids and we do want to homeschool all the way through high school. And there's always that feeling of like, if we don't see the resources out there, if we don't know that those resources are out there, then we get a little scared off from it, I think. And so thank you so much for putting this one out there. I'm definitely going to be downloading this one later and exploring it a little bit more. And so, and then do you also get to look up their workbooks? Are the workbooks also, I mean, not workbooks, textbooks. Okay. For sure. This is on the list for me. And I need to add it to the resources list as well. So thank you so much for putting this one out there. And then I also wanted to check out Khan Academy's study app, or they had something, I think it's called Schoolhouse. And I hadn't explored it yet, but yep, here it is. So this one is from the folks who make Khan Academy, and it is free online tutoring. So another option for when you have kids who might need a little bit of assistance, but you've got to work, you want to assign them a task and they need a little help. Sounds like this is something worth looking into. Oh, and you can become a tutor as well. Interesting. Okay, so these are the subjects. So definitely skews towards high school here. So if you've got high school kids or you're headed that way and you're not sure if you're going to continue homeschooling through high school, definitely something worth checking out here to see if this is going to be a good fit. I'm definitely in that boat right now. So this is real life for me. Okay, and then they've got a SAT prep. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. I like it. Or if your child would like to become a tutor, seems like it's something that would be worth looking into here. Okay. Yeah, I like how this one's looking as well. Okay, and then Ty, you just confirmed that yes, they do have on the McGraw-Hill side of things, they do have all the textbooks, so that's very good to know. Definitely a dollar saver there if that app is free. I didn't know because I didn't see it say that it cost anything, the McGraw-Hill app, but I will explore it further and see, like, are there some free things, and then it's some things are behind a paywall. I'll find out. And then Ashley, you were saying middle school through high school math. Yeah. On the free tutoring, are you talking about for Schoolhouse, right? Because that pre-algebra could technically be middle school math. Okay, awesome. Oh, well, Ty already knows. She said the app is free, the McGraw-Hill app. So thank you for sharing that. Because I try to be as budget friendly as humanly possible, honestly. And so the more the merrier when it comes to sharing free resources. So I really appreciate you putting that out there and letting us know about that. And then I wanted to also share what is possibly one of my favorite resources. Nobody's going to be surprised by this when I share it. It is what it is. So the Big Fat Notebook series, y'all. If you are not aware, and if you haven't made an investment for your homeschool, especially middle school and up, this is that investment. This is the one. This is something that has paid its dividends in kind so many times for me because it does match up. It matches up so well with every middle school curriculum I've seen. I've yet to see non-religious, of course, not, secular. There's nothing religious in these books. So if you have religious curriculum, then, these books aren't really going to help. And I keep pointing this way because it's to my right, but it's to your, it's over here, it's to the left. But I can't speak highly enough of these books. I want every homeschooling family who plans to homeschool past 5th grade to own these books because they are so helpful with whatever curriculum you're using. They are like the perfect pal that goes with every curriculum. I haven't seen anyone have a bad thing to say about these books. And if they have, they haven't said it to me because maybe they just know how passionate I am about them. But every book, math, science, world history, American history, English language arts, computer science, and coding. Those are the 6 that are available for middle school. And then high school has 4 currently. And I would love for them to come out with more. But for high school, they have pre-algebra and algebra 1, geometry, chemistry, and biology. And I had to peek because they're over there on my shelf. But all of them are worth investing in, and whatever curriculum you choose. We've used them with teaching textbooks. We've used them with Argo Prep. We're still using them with Time for Learning as well. highly recommend looking at these books. And I do have a flip through of these on my YouTube channel. So if you would like to see it before you commit to anything, you can absolutely get them on Amazon through my storefront, or they're often sold in Target, Walmart, Sam's, like pretty much wherever you typically see educational books. I'm sure Barnes & Noble has them, but I haven't been to Barnes & Noble for a while. Totally worth the investment, and you will not have any regrets about that purchase, because again, they pair so well. I'm talking about it like it's wine. They pair so well with any educational resource that you choose, like any curriculum that you choose to go for. I would not call them a curriculum in and of themselves, even though they do have knowledge checks after each chapter. I just don't know if I would feel comfortable enough to say this is all we're using this year, but it's absolutely a great resource in addition to whatever you're getting, and it can grow with your child all the way through middle school, all the way through high school. You will not regret buying those books. And then I'm sure they still hold their resale value, which is really cool. So definitely check those out. Oh, Ty, you were asking about the How Things Work series underneath. So just in case I didn't say, this is my website, guys. This is cartontable.com. This is the under the shop tab. So you can go here and check out these books. The How Things Work series is by another one of my favorite publishers when it comes to educational resources, and that is DK. If you can see up here, kind of in the top corner, top left corner of the book series, you see the little open book symbol with the DK letters there. I hope you can see that. I'm not sure if you can, but pretty much anytime I see DK, I know it's going to be a good one. And basically the How Things Work series is exactly that. They have multiple subjects where you can explore many different topics. So I'll take you guys all, this is over on Amazon. So they've got how business works, how money works, how technology works, how philosophy works, how the brain works, how to start your own business, how space works, how management works, how politics works, how art works. And a lot of these are also in your local libraries, guys. So if you're not wanting to make the investments in these books for your personal library, a lot of times your own public libraries, local libraries have these books. And I find these books really helpful just for those questions where your questions are, where your children are asking things just like, how does this work? And we're not all experts in everything. So for sure, it's wonderful to be able to say, this book is on the shelf, go explore. It's basically like an encyclopedic knowledge on that particular topic. And it's not something that you would just read straight through. It's definitely a reference book where you would go through and look at it at your leisure for that particular topic. So definitely check those out. And then while we're here, since we were talking about it, the Consumer Math series, I think, is also a great resource just for checking out, or not checking out, but introducing your child to more than just algebra and geometry, but just making sure they understand how money works before they get out into the real world, ready to make these decisions. I would highly recommend these books just before they get their first job, so that when the money starts coming in their name, they are committed or not committed, but they are educated on how to handle their finances. So that's a good one too. Again, these are just over on my website, Cart and Table, under the shop tab. Definitely check those out. And then if you came in a little bit later, I also showed the recommended resources tab, which has a running spreadsheet of resources that I'm constantly adding to, that puts things on here that we've been talking about. I've tried to separate it with, game schooling ideas, YouTube channels, testing resources, and things of that nature. But the list has gotten quite long. So you can pop it out up here using this top right hand button here, and using Control F, I would say, is going to be your best bet when searching this document. At some point, I will get around to maybe reorganizing, shuffling the deck a little bit, but it grew so large over the course of doing those lives over on TikTok that I've kind of lost control of it. And it's it reminds me of, like, You've ever seen Hoarders where they're talking about like this is such a daunting task, I don't know where to start? That's how I feel about that spreadsheet. Even though I love spreadsheets, I look at that one and I'm like, I'm not ready. Consumer math. Ty, you were asking what age for consumer math? I would say middle school and up on those, because it's not, I wouldn't say that it's not elementary friendly, but you know how elementary resources are more cute and sweet. Like these books are definitely like assuming you already know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and they're not starting from introducing like what a dollar is. They're like, you know what a dollar is, you know PEMDAS at this point, so let's keep it moving. So definitely, in my opinion, I would say middle school and up for sure. Like I said, great investments for like before they start getting their first job. So like if you've got a 12-year-old, 13-year-old that's ready to start a business on their own, I would absolutely add those workbooks and maybe even that DK book about how business works to their kind of their resources that they have readily available to them. So I know sometimes when we have younger kids, it's like, oh, I can't wait to have that resource. But to be fair, there's a lot of stuff for the young kids too. So it's nice to see things that are just for the older kids as well, so that there's a good mix and a good blend. But thank you so much for that question. All right, so let me close some of these tabs because I have quite a few open and I don't want the live to get laggy. But if you guys had any other questions, comments, we've got like maybe 4 minutes remaining. I'll just make sure that I kind of stop talking a little so that you can ask any questions that you have. Don't forget to check the link below because that'll get you to everything. That'll get you to my website, my Amazon storefront, whatever other resources that I have, not whatever, but you know, the other resources that I have out there and available. So definitely check that out as well. And then some of the previous lives that we've had this week also have additional resources that we were talking about that that I think would be worth a look for sure. But you know, the whole topic of today was just talking about independent learning and encouraging our kids to be independent learners. It's so necessary just in life that your kid understands that school is not about a grade. It's about attaining knowledge that you can then learn to apply in appropriate situations. I tell my kids all the time that their learning is not for me. It's not to impress me. It's not to impress anybody. It's so that they can continue to fill their toolbox with the things that they're going to need to function in life. I often use analogies with my kids, and I tell them, you know, their toolbox, their knowledge toolbox is kind of like if you were trying to build a house, right? To shelter you from the storms of life. Wouldn't it be nice if that toolbox had a lot of different tools in it rather than just a hammer and a screwdriver? It'd be pretty hard to build a house with just a hammer and a screwdriver. You're going to want a saw, you're going to want some wire cutters, you're going to want some PVC piping, like all these different things, all these different elements that are going to be necessary for you to build this house. That's what you're going to want to have available to you in your toolbox. Well, knowledge is very much like that. And you might not see immediately or right away how you can apply the knowledge that you're learning in every situation, which is another reason why I try as hard as I can to explain like what's the point to my kids when they're asking like, why do I need to do this? I need to be able to have a readily available real life adult situation where I can point to and say, this is why you need to know it. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's important to diversify and then also, like I said, make sure they are independent learners and they understand it's for them and it's not about me. It's not about me looking and making sure you learn it, but it's about you making sure you know it for yourself, for your future. Okay, no problem, Ty. Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow, guys. If you want to join in, definitely do. I appreciate all of you for being here. And I am going to pop off for today and catch you guys tomorrow. Oh, Jennifer, you're saying your son is watching Homeschool Pop history videos. Homeschool Pop is a good one. Maybe tomorrow we will run through the, some of the YouTube resources, because YouTube University and Google Tech are essential. So that could be a great topic for tomorrow. Thank you for popping that one up for us. And then just in the meantime, guys, thank you for being here. Make sure you do remember to like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll just catch you guys tomorrow.